Welcome back to the water cooler. Maricopa County, Arizona is back in the news. Check out this headline here from justthenews.com. Arizona Republican senators have hired an outside auditing group to review the 2020 election. Joining me now to discuss further is State Senator Michelle Ugenti-Rita. Michelle, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. So, Michelle, tell us exactly what's going on with this effort. You know, news broke yesterday that, as I said, Arizona state senators have hired an outside auditing group to go over exactly what happened in Maricopa County back in November 2020. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. And why shouldn't we? There has been a lot of consternation, concern, apprehension, fear amongst our voters as to whether the election was run properly. And the least we can do is supply them with the verification needed so that they have confidence in the administration of our elections. We couldn't get cooperation with the County Board of Supervisors, so the Arizona State Senate is doing it themselves.
Okay, so how exactly is this going to work? Because, I mean, as you said, there was this long back and forth between the County Board of Supervisors and the State Senate, a little bit of the House as well, about, again, how voting went in Maricopa County. What exactly are you looking to have access to? Is this about access to the machines? Is it about a recount? What are you hoping that they will find, and how is this investigation going to look?
Well, I don't know what they're going to find, but what I can tell you is we are going to have access to the ballots, not just the voted ballots, but the adjudicated ballots. We are also going to have access to the equipment. We're going to have access to the technology and the software. And we have hired an independent company that's going to methodically go through, again, the equipment, the software, the ballots, to make sure that our laws were upheld, the process ran smoothly. And if not, we'll highlight what those deficiencies are so we have an opportunity to fix them in the future.
So, I mean, this is actually not the first audit that has happened in your state recently. Maricopa County previously did an audit back in January of this year that determined that the software and the equipment used in the election had not been hacked or modified, and had found that all the ballots had actually been accurately counted. Is there some reason to believe that this audit will turn up different information?
Well, again, I'm not going to speculate on what the audit is going to uncover or not uncover, but what I can tell you is the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors has a credibility problem. The public doesn't believe them and trust them. So even though they initiated a couple of audits only after public outcry, that's not going to suffice, because the public doesn't believe that the County Board of Supervisors is interested in transparency and making sure that they're running elections appropriately, efficiently, and per statute. So we've kind of had no choice. If the Board of Supervisors had cooperated much earlier on in this process, perhaps we wouldn't be here. But we are here because of the lack of willpower on their end, and the fact that the public just does not trust anything that the County Board of Supervisors is doing in relationship to elections right now in the state of Arizona.
Well, so in terms of this public trust issue that you're describing, if this audit, like the last one, turns up no evidence that anything went awry during this election, what then happens with the public trust? If the election in theory went off without a hitch and still this public trust has been eroded, what will they be able to do to earn back the public's trust?
Well, I mean, I think this is an appropriate and important first step. So if the audit comes back and nothing looked suspicious or out of the ordinary, statute was followed, laws were followed, then we're going to reaffirm that the election was run appropriately. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you want to trust but verify. We use audits all of the time. The IRS audits, we audit our state agencies. Audits are a familiar tool, and there's no reason why we shouldn't do it in this instance.
And if there were problems with the election, what are you as a state legislator going to do to sort of prevent that from happening again? I mean, I know recently a massive legislative voting package was passed through the Arizona House and Senate. Is that sort of what the game plan here is? Are there other steps in place?
Well, making sure we have confidence in our elections and people want to participate in them should be something that the legislature is motivated to address no matter what. But specifically as it relates to this audit, depending on what is uncovered, we can then do a deeper dive and look at what kind of legislative remedies there are. I mean, that's certainly within our purview and our job.
Do you have a timeline estimate of how long this is going to take, when you can expect results?
Right. So we're looking at probably maybe 3 to 4 weeks. And then I think at least 3 or 4 weeks to gather the information and put it in a package and a format that then can be shared with not only the senators, but of course the public.
So, I mean, at that point, we're looking like we're almost going to be in the summertime at that point. I mean, this election was in the fall. What is your sense on the ground of how your constituents are feeling about the election continuing to be a subject matter that they have to contend with in the headlines and that their legislators are occupied with? Is there still, significant interest from your constituents about getting to the bottom of some of these questions?
Yeah, well, absolutely, because there's another election on the horizon, right, in 2022, and then one after that. I mean, so this is very important that we address now, and the sooner we get it done, the sooner we'll be able to appropriately remedy potential problems or reaffirm to the public that everything is fine. But, we can be called back into special session to deal with things. We can do we can put emergency clauses on pieces of legislation so that they're enacted faster. There's lots of tools at our disposal, but the first thing we have to do is complete this audit so we know what we're dealing with.
And what is your specific role as it pertains to this audit? Are you somehow the point person, the coordinator of it?
The Senate president is really the point person of the audit. She's been coordinating with the vendors and negotiating the contracts. As someone who has done a lot in the election arena, I'm certainly supporting it and will probably deal with the policy end of it, depending on what transpires and what we're able to conclude in terms of fixes.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, Senator, thank you so much for joining the program today. We really appreciate hearing from you, and we look forward to hearing from you again as this audit and its ensuing results come out over the next couple of weeks and months.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back in just a few minutes with the last sip, but also coming up later this evening during the 7 o'clock hour, you won't want to miss Dr. Gina's interview with former President Donald Trump. They'll get into a whole range of subject matters. It's going to be an exclusive Real America's Voice Dr. Gina primetime interview. Again, you don't want to miss that 7 o'clock hour right here on Real America's Voice.